2024 International Camporee, and 2025 Beta. His mission: protect, prepare, lead. He considers it an honor to be able to witness to others and is a firm believer in the text, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So he's going to take it from here.
Thank you, Pastor, for that introduction. I normally don't use a mic because I'm loud and country. But I think we're streaming, so I have to use the mic. All right, let me know because sometimes, I get a little busy here. So thank you again for the invitation, Pastor. We did connect at camp meeting. He was on my security team, and so we worked. Anybody go to camp meeting this year? You went to camp meeting, so you know about the rains. The rains came. It was just like Camporee in Gillette, Wyoming. I don't know if y'all heard the stories about Gillette. We got rained out. I'm like, man, every event that I'm in charge of security, maybe I shouldn't be going. Maybe I seem to be the common denominator. Right, so it was a mess. But we made it through. God blessed. He showed up and he showed out as usual. So thankful for that. So I always start out, I'm not sure. International Camporee was in Gillette, Wyoming. Yeah, that last year. I always start out with my testimony, no matter where I speak. And it kind of gives people a little motivation that no matter where you begin, doesn't matter where you begin, God's grace and his mercy would keep you there. And so that's my testimony today. Y'all are kind of spread out on them. Y'all don't like each other? That's what you normally say. Because I'm doing this. That's okay. That's where you're comfortable. Stay where you are. If that's where you're comfortable, stay where you are. So I want to take you back to 1965, a little place called Leesburg, Georgia. In Leesburg, Georgia, a little place known as Katz Alley. Katz Alley was projects, Leesburg, Georgia. Well, back there in 1965, a little boy was born. A little handsome little fella, too, light-skinned, curly haired. Well, he was born to a black mother and a white married man. So the year of 1965 in Leesburg, Georgia, that was a no-no. So for the first year of my life, my mother kept me inside. I don't know if it was out of shame or maybe just out of protection and safety for both of us back at the time. But how many people know that God always has a ram in the thicket? So my mother had a sister who lived in Chicago. They were Seventh-day Adventists. Her name was Hattie Scott. You probably remember my mother. My mother came down and said, hey, you can't raise this boy like this. Give him to us and we will raise him for you. Matter of fact, we'll keep him for a little while. That was the plan. My mother got on a bus, bundled up with that little handsome little fella, and took him on a bus from Leesburg, Georgia to Chicago. How many mothers do we have in here? So can you imagine taking your child on a bus and handing your child over? I imagine that the bus ride was probably tough, but also imagine that the ride back was probably even worse. Anyway, God had a plan. So he turned me over. I did not know that my person I called my mother was really my aunt, and the person that I call Aunt Little Bit was my mother. All right? Back then, there were some secrets going on. We talked about that at dinner. All kinds of secrets going on in our community out of whatever reason, shame or whatever. So until about 10 years old, I would call my Aunt Little Bit, who was actually my mother. We would go visit down in Georgia. She always wanted to hug me. She always wanted to kiss all on me. She the only auntie wanted to do. I'm like, I don't like all that. Little boy, you ain't got to do all that kissing and hugging on me. Not only did she do that, she wanted me to stay at her house. Well, I was in the city. I was big time, Chicago. If we had a fly get on your food, you don't eat that food. We had screen doors. We had air conditioning. We had the fans at least. Down there, they ain't had no fan. Shoot a fly get on you better shoot that fly and eat that food. They ain't had no screen door, flies, all that. I said, no, I'm going to stay with you. I did not know that was my mother. Had no idea that was my mother. All right, loving up on me. But she loved me so much that she was willing to give me to her sister to raise. And that's how I was raised in Shiloh. I was raised in the parsonage, which is next door to the church school, which is next door to the church that you see up here. My father was a custodian at the church, My sister was a teacher and ended up retiring as the principal of Shiloh, and I grew up in the parsonage next door. Yes, I was late for school all the time, but I didn't miss a church service. You better believe that. I could probably do a week of prayer, early morning service, a funeral, what you want, what you got. I could probably do all of that because I was in church all of the time. Well, fast forward, went into the service. I went to Oakwood University. Might go to Oakwood, might attend Oakwood. Went to Oakwood, awesome. Went to Oakwood. Left there and went to the Marine Corps. From the Marine Corps, I went to Prince George's County Police Department. From there, retired from there. Was Chief of Police in Capitol Heights, Maryland. And from there, my career has just kind of taken off. God has blessed me. So I tell people, it doesn't matter where you start. I was one of 10. One of 10. My mother had 10 kids in a 2-bedroom. Come on, you do the math. Somebody was on the floor. F-L-O, flow. All right? And we was Po, P-O, Po. All right, Po. But God had a plan for me. I used to wonder when I got older, why was I the only one who was not raised by my mother? But that was God's plan for me. The mother that I did have, you know her, was one of the most loving women ever in my life. I lost her when I was 14 years old. All right, but it doesn't matter where you begin. If God puts you there, every position I've had has normally required either more education or more experience than I have. But God saw fit. I laugh a lot of times when I'm in a room and they'll say, hey, Ken, or Mr. Scott, what do you think? And I say, you asking that little boy from Cats Alley, that little high yellow boy from Cats Alley, you ask. So sometimes I got to get my mind right, get my mind together, and come up with something. But God has put me in places that I never would have dreamed of. And so I give all praise and glory to God for that. And no matter where I speak, I give this testimony. If it's in conferences that I speak at or whatever churches, I have to give my testimony because it's near and dear to my heart. And I will share this with you. 2 weeks ago today, I funeralized my son. This is my second presentation that I'm making. I made one in North Carolina on Monday. It was my first one since he passed. And this is my second one. He was one of my biggest fans, lack of a better word, 36 years old. So if y'all see me get weak up here a little bit, like I said, today marks the 2 weeks since we funeralized the young man, and may he rest in peace, and hopefully we will see him again soon one day. Let the words of my mouth, meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord, my strength and my redeemer. Let the church say, amen. It is a shame that I have to do this. It really is. Because you should be able to come to church and just sit and worship and not have to worry about anything. Church used to be a sacred place. Like I said, I grew up in the church. I gave a whole new meeting. I grew up right next door here. That was a sacred place. People didn't come to church. If you came to church acting up, this is when deacons were show enough deacons, for real, for real. Brother York Godley and Brother Stewart and at the church I grew up, they would go ahead and get you up out of there and get you some get right real quick. We live in a little different atmosphere now. And this is no reflection on the men, but as I sit here and I look around, I see 2 men or 3 men here, and I see double that for women. Most of our churches are like that. For whatever reason, it's like that. So I always say this all the time, men, because we are normally a minority at churches, we've got to step up our game. I don't expect to see too many amens from the men, but that's all right. I leave tomorrow morning at 8:30. We got to step our game up. And we're going to talk about that as well. I have a clicker somewhere. Hold on. Let me get myself together. Am I doing something? It was working. There we go. We don't need to talk about that guy. We already got what he did. I want y'all to take a look at something for me. Just hit the space bar for me, please. Thank you. Turn the volume up a little bit. Turn it up. Be prepared, stay alive. We can't solve all of the problems that we have today. But what I want you to leave here with, is a little better understanding of what needs to happen in your church. So I'm going to go around the room and ask some questions. Do you feel safe in your church every Sabbath? You do. Do you feel safe here every Sabbath? Safe, sir. Pastor, you feel safe every Sabbath? Okay.
I would say no, because we never know who's coming in.
Okay. You feel safe, but what?
Not really very well prepared.
Not well prepared.
I feel safe that I'm listening out.
Without what?
Listening out.
Okay. What, I'm going to ask him one more time. What's to stop something from happening at this church? What is there right now to stop something from happening in this church? You have security? Okay. I heard somebody say something over here. What is there to stop something? Okay, the deacon's back there. What's there to stop something from happening in this church? I hear the answer. Somebody keeps saying it. There is absolutely at this moment nothing that's going to stop somebody if they want to do something bad at this church. All right? Nothing whatsoever. I want y'all to think about that. Think about that. And we're going to talk about some scenarios of some highly secure places where people have done things. Let me go to the next slide, please. Talk about what couple of definitions. Active shooter. We're going to talk about mass shooting. We're going to talk about active shooter incidents, mass shootings over the years. Next slide. Active shooter is defined by the federal government as an active shooter, an individually actively engaged in killing or attempting to kill people in a confined and populated area, typically through the use of firearms. Now, does it have to be firearms?
No.
What else could it be? Knives, machetes, anything. Any weapon, all right? Next slide. Mass shooting. Defined as a mass shooting, defined an incident in which 4 or more people are shot or killed, not including the shooter. Next slide. Let's talk about some active shooter incidents, and this might be a little eye-opener for you, all right? Is this an open carry state? So anybody, you can just walk around with a gun on your hip? You can walk around, is it concealed carry? You can be, some saying no, some saying yes. Does anybody know? Can you just put a gun on, put a coat over, and walk around? No, so you're not a concealed carry. Somebody needs to do research on that and find out whether you're concealed or not concealed. You're an open carry state, but are you a concealed carry state? You are. I'm hearing yes. Okay, awesome. Awesome. What's the difference? Right. But
It does say here, however. It says it is an open carry state. However, to carry a concealed loaded firearm in New Mexico, concealed handgun license is required.
so you have to have a license. So it's not a concealed. In Louisiana, you can carry concealed, no license, or you can carry open. Wild, Wild West. So basically, legally in Louisiana, a person can come to church, sit down in church with a gun on. Let me ask you this. Do y'all know anybody in your church who brings a gun to your church? Don't raise your hand. I did one at the church in, I think it was Little Rock. That lady sat there and she said, I got it right here. I'm like, whoa, you probably the last one, sis, who needs a gun. All right? So I always have to be careful when I ask that question. Let's go to the next slide. Racine, Wisconsin, a man shot and wounded 2 people at a cemetery. You know, normally when people go to a cemetery, they go to the cemetery to talk to mommy, daddy, cousin, uncle, whatever, pour out a little, whatever they drinking, you know, ginger ale and stuff like that. Pour out a little bit for them. Y'all didn't even catch that. That went all the way over the Seventh-day Adventist head. But anyway, all right. Normally you don't go there and people get shot at a cemetery. All right? Cemetery, crazy place. California. A man went to church. A man drove from Las Vegas to California, an Asian man. He went into the church. He started shooting. He shot and killed one man. The one man that he killed was a doctor. The doctor saw what was going on. He went and he grabbed the man. The other parishioners grabbed him as well, grabbed the man, and they put him to the ground, took their belts and everything, and they held him for the police. The one man who engaged, and I want to talk, are you security for the church here? Awesome. Let me finish, man. Let me finish. Give me a second. I'm rolling here. I'm rolling. Give me a second. Hold your question, okay? Well, that's between you and them. All right, that's y'all call. All right. So work with me here. Work with me. It says that man says security. So let me ask you this: security means selfless service. Selfless service. What does that mean? Are you? Let me finish, man. I got this. Your presentation is tomorrow morning. doing the prayer breakfast. All right. Are you willing? If someone came in here right now, are you willing to jump up and put your life on the line to possibly somebody? Don't even answer that. All right? Because pressure busts pipes. Let me tell you the dynamic of selfless service. Let me give you a definition, my definition, and what I live. I've been in law enforcement for 36 years. I've been chief of police of 4 different agencies. That's a lot of policing. And I shock people when I say this, but I mean it. I would kill everybody in this room if it meant me going home at night. You, Pastor, you, ma'am, apologize, but you got to go. You, everybody in this room, if it meant me going home at night. All right? I want you to think about that for 2 seconds. Now, this is what I want you to think about. Have we ever met before? Never. If your life was in danger, I would put my life on the line for you. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Don't know you from Adam. Just met you when I walked in the door and you greeted me this morning. But I put my life on the line for you. Because that's selfless service. That's who I am. That's what I'm made of. Military, Marine Corps, police, all that's in here. And all that would come out to protect her. You people who say, I'm going to be security at my church. I'm going to be security. Security. You're going to be flashlight security. I see you security or whatever. Are you willing to put yourself in harm's way? I want you to think about that. I wish I had more deacons here, all right, to answer that question, all right? The doctor put himself, because he's used to helping people, so he put himself in harm's way. He was shot and he killed, but he saved other lives. Ames, Iowa, a man killed 2 women, then himself in a church parking lot. Got mad at his old lady, and he shot her, and he shot a friend, killed him. Then he killed himself. I wish he would have killed himself first. That's a self-correcting problem. Amen, somebody. Charleston, South Carolina. This dude goes in the church. Y'all know the story. He sits and he worships with the people. Wednesday night, y'all still have Wednesday prayer meeting in person? You do? Y'all come here for church? That's awesome. Just started back. I think every church should. That's just my personal opinion. Came and worshiped. He purposely, pastor, sat next to the pastor on purpose. They sat, they prayed, they studied the Bible, talked about Jesus, all those good things. And this idiot, and I say that with all the love in my heart, pulled out a gun and shot him. That's just evil. Then the police, what the police do? The police took him and got him some Burger King. He would have been eating stale bologna sandwiches. Texas. A man entered the church. He wounded 22 and killed 26 before he killed himself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He killed everybody in this room times 2. And where did he do that? In a what? In a what? Does it say it up there? He was in a church. He entered a church. All right? Charleston, South Carolina. He did it in a what? Ames, Iowa. He did it in a what? A what parking lot? Orange County, California. He did it where? In a church. White settlement. Man attended several church services. This man came into the church. They had an armed security component to their church. The man came into church. He worshiped several times. He was not dressed appropriately. Nowadays, I remember growing up in church, you had to come to church in a suit and a tie. That was proper church attire. And if somebody came not looking like that, Because you know, Adventists, we like to get it together. People are going to look at them a little funny, right? That's just what we do. Adventists, we something else. But anyway, I think that's another story. Adventists like to be around Adventists. Y'all know I'm telling the truth, all right, 100%. Anybody who not Adventist, remember you're older people say, oh, that person, they of the world. What? Anyway, this person not dressed the way that they felt that he should be dressed. So the security guys kept an eye on him. Kept an eye on him. When I tell you to, I want you to close your eyes. When I tell you to open your eyes, I want you to open, all right? On 3, I want you to close your eyes. When I tell you to open your eyes, open your eyes. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Close your eyes. Open your eyes. That was 6 seconds. The time you had your eyes closed, okay, the man had pulled out a sawed-off shotgun. Security team saw it, right? He shot the shotgun, right? He killed 2 security members before the head of the security team, who was a marksmanship instructor, shot him 1 time. In the Marine Corps, you say 1 shot, 1 kill. Shot him 1 time and killed him. The time you had your eyes closed, 6 seconds. That went by quick, didn't it? Boom, 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 boom. So all this stuff you see on TV, they shooting, they running, they doing all right. It's going boom, 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 boom. Just happened just like that. And that's what happened here at this church. They were fortunate enough, they identified him early, not early enough before he was able to kill these other 2. In 6 seconds, that happened. Houston, a woman's trench coat, a woman at that smiley face pastor. What's that smiley face in Houston? What's his name? Osteen. You know, y'all, they leave church skipping and hopping. He get them old nice little sermons, all right? Them little microwave sermons, all right? But at his church, Smiley Face Church, a lady in a trench coat with her child come into church with an AR-15. Y'all don't know anybody know about weapons. An AR-15 is a semi-automatic weapon. You got to know what you're doing to operate that. It's not just pull the trigger, not just rack it or whatever. You got to know. You got to flip the switch. You got to do it. You got to be able to, all the things. All right? She came in with that. Fortunately, there were 2 off-duty officers saw her. They eliminated the threat. They shot and killed her. Unfortunately, the little kid who was with her got shot in the head. He's going to be messed up the rest of his life. But do you expect a woman to do that? In one of the most well-guarded churches in the nation, one of the largest churches in the nation, in Houston, Texas. We are in probably one of the smallest churches in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Come on now, let's be honest. So when I say, what is there to stop it from happening here? The answer is nothing. I want you to keep that thought, nothing. Last Easter, youth pastor goes to church. He is messing with, and I can say it's going to be among all our people, he messing with this young lady who just got divorced. Her old man, who's a nutcase, came and shot him in the parking lot. Killed a youth pastor because he was messing with the ex, old lady. Isn't that crazy? She don't want you. Let it go. Somebody else got it now. Let it go, bruh. Go on about your business. In the church part, he coming out of Easter service. That man ain't done nothing. He probably didn't even know what their relationship was like. Who knows what that kid knew? But it happened at a what? At a church. At a church. And I run through all of these to let you know, to give you some awareness that there is nothing to stop it happening at your church or in your church parking lot. Now, I am going to give you some tools in your toolkit to help mitigate the threat. I ain't going to just leave you hanging like this, all right? I see some looks on some faces right now, and that's a good thing. That means you're thinking. This lady right here is thinking hard. I'm going to tell you right now. I see her face. She is like, what in the heck am I sitting in here going through? She's going to wake up tomorrow morning like, what in the world? Next slide, please. 2024, we had incidents and casualties. 2025, as you see, is kind of small. Incidents by location, open space, commerce, education, government, and house of worship. House of worship, so far, we've had 1, and it was just increased the other day. 2023 saw the most active shootings in ever in the United States of America. What country do you think has the most active shooters? United States of America. What country has some of the most stringent gun laws? Some of those, yes, but on the law. But they just have one law. We got like a whole bunch of laws. That don't mean nothing. Chicago, you can't carry no gun in Chicago. I grew up in Chicago. Everybody, like I say in D.C., everybody got a gun. In Chicago, shooting up the place. Strong gun laws. Strong gun laws. Next slide, please. Why don't we have good church security? Let's talk about it. Churches spend more time, resources, and money preparing the choir than they do security concerns. Hey, the choir been invited to go and sing at Dallas City Temple, Dallas Project. Dr. Bird called. He wants the choir to come. What? You gonna be here Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday evening. Y'all gonna be singing. That man who's on the piano gonna be wore out. His fingers gonna be tied. Y'all gonna get you some new robes. Y'all gonna rent you a nice bus to get on up there to Dallas. Y'all gonna do it right. Y'all gonna stay in a nice hotel because you know we don't like no Motel 6. Y'all gonna do it right. Am I right? Am I right? All right. And I can say that I grew up St. Memphis. I know all that's gonna happen. All of it. But when it comes to security concerns, hey, we need some new cameras for the outside of the church. Well, we don't have the money for that. Let's say ouch. Church security is often overseen by untrained and ill-prepared individuals. Huh? Y'all messing around and got Otis. Come on now, you know what I'm talking about. Y'all got Otis and the one who got that thing going on to be church security. Am I right? That's the one who you got. Come on now. Arthur is tearing him up. But he the one who say, hey, we need to tell Otis, hey, thank you for your service. But you need to be to see something, say something. You just let somebody else know something going on. Because if you can't get from here to that door by yourself, what you gonna do for this young lady right here? Absolutely nothing. You're gonna be another victim. You and that hip. It's gonna be all right. So we need people who are capable. We good? Did I upset him? He leaving? Oh, gotcha. Okay. I thought he was leaving. I didn't mean to upset you, brother. All right. Come on back, get some more of this. All right. So we need. Do we have military people? Do we have people who are able-bodied in here to say, hey, I will be part of the security team? That is what we need, able-bodied. Last minute, oftentimes security is a last-minute add-on. We will say we're going to have a revival at Bethesda. We have a revival on, Evans. We do it on Saturday night, Sunday night. We always skip Monday. Tuesday, Wednesday, we always skip Thursday, and then we have Friday, Saturday. We're going to have a revival. We're going to call in an artist to come in here and speak. We're going to have Dr. Berg going to come in and speak for that first week. Somebody's going to come in and speak. The last thing you think about is security. Now, I drove around this neighborhood when I first came here this morning. Didn't I say more? Okay? Don't let it be the last thing you think about. Before you have an event, it needs to be the first thing you think about. Someone needs to raise their hand and say, hey, do we have security? And now, what does security look like for an event like that if you have an event? Let me tell you something. We're going to talk about it later, what security looks like. Mindset. All the time you grow up, it'll never happen in my church. Never happen. The lack of preparation and foresight that we have in our churches. Growing up Seventh-day Adventists, what is our phrase all the time? The Lord will take care of us. Jesus be a fence all around us every day. And I believe that happens because we're here. We are here today because of that. However, God gives you common sense too. My dad used to say common sense ain't too common. Common sense. If you mess around and get cancer if you want to, you're going to see what? A doctor. God has given him something to possibly help you. You're going to pray, absolutely. And God's in the healing business. But you ain't going to just sit there and say, I'm just going to pray to God. Faith without is, and so are you. If you don't do nothing about it. Right? So we have common sense. Let's use our common sense. It can happen. It can happen. California last year, I just talked about this at the Carolina Conference with their teacher administrators on Monday. Last year, so I do this for schools as well. Last year, our Seventh-day Adventist school had an active shooter. The man came in and shot 2 kindergartners. Then he messed around and killed himself. He was a member of the church, came in, talked to the administrators, went out, went to the bathroom. The kids came in the bathroom, he shot 2 of them. They survived, thank you, Jesus, and he killed himself. He should have done that first and then went for the kids. Self-correcting problem. All right, in a Seventh-day Adventist institution. Isn't that crazy? Never think it'll happen to us. It will. I guarantee you talk to that principal, she'll come in and tell you, it sure enough will. Next slide, please, sir. So I ask the question again. Here's my question. I'm going again. I'm going to go around the room. Is your church safe? Is your church safe? Is your church safe? Is your church safe? Sir, is your church safe? Little different mindset. Pastor? Ma'am? 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 Sir? Little different mindset when you see what's going on in the world. We live in our own silo, our own bubble. We get our car on Sabbath, we come in, we get the word, we go back home. We need to be thinking. No matter where I go, I don't live paranoid life. I'm a pretty easygoing type guy until it's time not to be easygoing anymore. All right? I'm an easygoing guy. But if I go to the restaurant, I'm not sitting in the restaurant, my back to the door. I'm just not doing that. I don't care who you are. I could be on a date with whoever. Halle Berry, you got to sit over there. I can dream. But I'm just saying that I'm not doing that. I need to see the door. Okay? Because I need to see who's coming in. Situational awareness. I need to know what's going on. So is your church safe? Basically, church is not safe. If this can happen at Joel Osteen's church, it can happen anywhere. Next slide, please. Does your church have a documented security plan? Who here has ever seen a documented security plan? I'll wait. I'm waiting. Dun, 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 dun. Nope. Why do you need, this is some good juice here. Why do you need a documented security plan? Somebody tell me. Evacuation? Why do you need a good plan? Why? Who's doing what? Keep people safe? Know what has to happen? I'm looking for a word. Begins with an L. The last letter is Y. Liability. Let me tell you, if something happened in this church right now, you are not going to open up the security plan. Go to page 23, paragraph 5. Guarantee you not. But I guarantee you that Kenneth Scott, if it's something happening in this church right now, Kenneth Scott, Security Director for Southwest Region Conference, will be calling Dewey, sue him, and how. Because you will be sued. We're going to sue the church. We're going to sue Southwest Region. We're going to sue North American Division. We're going to sue Adventist Risk Management. We're going to sue the General Conference. Everybody get named. But if the church can say we did our due diligence, we had a security plan. We had a plan, a documented plan. We can show it to you. We reviewed it, and when we had a review, we gave it to the church. Gave it out to the church. Now, along with that plan, all right, I'm going to go to the last one. Along with that plan, has this church ever had a fire drill during service? Dun, dun, dun. Ever. Does anybody know if there's a fire drill, if there's a fire in this church, does anybody know where to go on the outside? You don't, because you never had a drill. And this ain't nobody's fault. It's just you haven't. I'm glad you're taking notes, man. Awesome. It's just because you just have never done it. There is nothing wrong with people coming to church on Sabbath, all right, and right before the sermon, say, we having a fire drill. When everybody leaves, when I say fire, I need everybody to go outside and meet me across the street in that parking lot. After that, do not go to your car. Come on back in here and get this word. But you can document, we had a drill. And Pastor, when you do it, don't tell them don't tell them you're going to do it. Do you know that every year there's something called a safety Sabbath that the North American Division mandates that you have? Does anybody know that? Who's the treasurer of the church? Are they here by any chance? Treasurer of the church. They're not here. He or she, they get an email saying it's a requirement from Adventist Risk Management. You might not be sharing it, but I'm sharing it. All right? In March, every year, there's what's called a safety Sabbath. You can have it then, but you can also have it different times of the year as well. On that safety Sabbath, have a drill. Have a drill. All right? Show people what to do. Does your church have a well-trained security team? We talked about armed versus unarmed. So there are some churches. Oakwood University Church has an armed component. I am against having an armed component in the church. I'll tell you why. He wants to be on the security team. He comes home and says, hey, I'm going to be on the security team on Sabbath. We're going to carry guns. Right? Now, you probably got a nice house, 30-something minutes away, you say, right? There you live, beautiful home, whatever. Are you willing for him to risk your house so he could be the police on Sabbath and work with health? What do you work? Public health. 6 days a week on Sabbath, he's going to be the Sabbath police. But you might lose your house if he pulls his gun out and shoots the wrong person. You okay with that? That's a no. I'm going to answer for you. But that's what happens in churches all the time. People say, oh yeah, wow, I carry my gun. Oh, I got my gun. Let me tell you the worst person is in your church. The worst person in your church is the person that you know got a gun. He lets you know he got a gun. Because I'll tell you, I carry pretty much wherever I go, just about. And if something happens, it's going to be a surprise. The surprise is going to be like, the next thing he knows, he's going to be speaking to Jesus. Or somebody. I want him to be totally surprised. The one who come to church and you know he got a gun because he got a gun on his hip, he walking around like this all the time, like a brand new police officer, strutting around, all that kind of crap. Or he telling people I got a gun. Foolishness. But I am for unarmed. If you want to have an armed component, hire yourself a police officer. For 4 hours, 4 hours, I think is a minimum. I don't even know what they charge around here. $40, $50 an hour, $200 a Sabbath. You got a vehicle that sits out there, so the bad guy gonna keep on going. You're really not hiring a police officer. You're hiring for that police car to sit out there. Because the person says, dude, this is not a soft target anymore. Now it's a hard target. It ain't gonna be a shooting. It's gonna be a shootout. There's a difference. I always tell people, if I go, I don't want to go in the shooting. I want to go in the shootout. Both of us be standing before Jesus. Tell me, I know how you got here. I know how you got here. All right? Can your church communicate quickly in emergency? So let's talk about your church. And I do this at every church that I go to. When I pull up to the church, I see, what do I see on the outside of the church? When I pulled up this morning, what I saw, I didn't see anybody when I first came around. I came back around, I saw two gentlemen standing outside. I don't know if you were one of two gentlemen were standing outside, right, of the church, but they were just jaw-jacking. They weren't. Then I came in, and a gentleman, I think he's in the back there with a striped shirt on, 47 years old. He told me he was 40. He was proud of being 47. I said, dude, I'm 60, man. Stop playing with me. Huh? Omar, yes. He greeted me. You greeted me when I came in. But if something happened outside the church, how would they be able to tell y'all inside, lock the church? Good. You have walkie-talkies? Did somebody have one today? I missed it? Okay, I didn't think, huh? It is. They had them today? They did. They put the earpod, did they have them connected to the radio? Awesome, I missed that. But that's good. So, but was anybody monitoring the outside of the church? So they were they just, okay. So they noticed that there was a little gap. Gotcha. There was a little gap because nobody was out there when I first came up. But that's fine. If you have somebody that's supposed to be out there, that is awesome. They can communicate inside. Make sure you use them every Sabbath. A lot of people at places I go say, oh, we got a radio, but it sits in the back. That's no good. Next slide, please. What are some of the components? Every place of worship has a dedicated security team, should have one. Do y'all have any former military by any chance? Law enforcement, military, anything like that? Do you have anybody in the church like that? Yeah, those are some of the people that you get on your security team. Oh, okay. You should have those type of people, if possible. Okay. Those are the people that you need on your team. EMTs, paramedics, firefighters, those type of people. Because they have that mentality to help. Next slide. So how do you secure your place of worship? The structural security of your place of worship. So you have a fence that goes around, right? The good thing is when I left right after church. I had to make a run. I came back. I couldn't get into church. That was awesome. That door was locked. And I'm looking through the glass. All right, looking like a lost kid. But Omar came and opened the door for me. That's awesome. That's forethought of thinking. Most churches don't do that. Most churches have a door, propping doors open. Now, I did go into the back in the kitchen, and there was a door open. But there's a fence that goes around, right? But you can still get in there, right?
No, that door is locked, the screen door is locked. It just, you can open it through ventilation, but the screen door is locked.
The screen door was locked? Okay, I just saw the open door.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't get to the screen door.
No.
Okay, good. Do not prop doors open. Uvalde. Y'all heard about the school shooting in Uvalde? You know why that man got in there and killed 19 people? Because she propped the door open. She went to get her cell phone out of the car. The teacher propped the door open. Do not prop doors open. Decisions must be made convenience versus safety. A lot of churches I go to, they say, oh, we let people go into this door because they're musicians. So we let them come in because they can just take their instruments in and out. Y'all don't have that problem. I believe there's only one way in, one way out. Am I right? These are front doors. Okay? But for the most part, we direct people that way. That's for emergencies only. Am I correct? Right. But for the most part, ingress, egress are those two areas. Right. Keep it that way. If you need to, tone it down to one. I think one will work here because there's not a lot of people. You ain't got to worry about people bumping into you or getting out. One way in, one way out. You can monitor it much easier than two. Now, it might be more convenient to have that one open. Do not sacrifice security for convenience. Walk a couple of more steps. We all can use a little bit more walking. You can walk 20 more steps. Ain't gonna hurt nobody. Trust me. Limit access, we talked about that. Late arrivals. So, let me tell you, we have the best thing in the world, Seventh-day Adventists. When I see you greet people on Sabbath, what do we say? Happy Sabbath. We got this locked. Happy Sabbath. I ain't even got to like you, and I can say, Happy Sabbath. Speak to everybody who walk in your church. You know why? You don't want somebody to just get in your church and not be noticed. You don't. I've gone to churches, 6'2", 210 pounds, light, bright, almost white. And I've sat in church, ain't nobody said nothing to me. Then I get up and do a presentation. I said, how many people saw me walking to church? You got 2 or 3 people. What? You can't miss me. I don't think. All right? I've gone to churches where people ain't speak. Our churches, our conference, or maybe 1 or 2. What's up with that? Huh? So we're going to be in heaven not speaking, flying by? Speak to people. It does a couple of things. Not only speak to people, give eye contact. I believe since my presentation, it could be 200 people in the room, and I try to do this to everybody. I believe I made eye contact with just about everybody in this room. Am I right? Make eye contact. Sometimes it's a cultural thing for us not to. But make eye contact with people. Good morning, happy Sabbath, how are you? All right? You don't want nobody just walking your church without greeting them. Okay? Not just going to stop them from doing anything, but at least you know that they know they've been seen. They've been seen. They come in late. These are some of the vulnerabilities. Next slide, please. Post greeters. I appreciated you this morning so much when you greeted me this morning. Umar, when he greeted me this morning, it was very much appreciated. That post greeter, there's nothing wrong with that. These are fiscally neutral things you can do. It doesn't cost you nothing. Doesn't cost you nothing. Also, people who are going to be on your security team are greeters. Make sure that people come to church. Don't have somebody on the security team don't come to church every Thursday. What day y'all go to church on? Every Thursday, Saturday. Have somebody who's going to be there, greeting people. Okay. Proper training. Your security guys, your deacons, do they train on a regular basis? Anything? No. I would like, Pastor, when you get a chance, when you have your security guy, 4 or 5 guys, contact me, and I'll come back on a Sunday morning, and we'll have a security training. What we'll cover is what to do if someone disrupts your service. What to do if someone is walking up. So let me ask you, during your service today, What do you think is the most vulnerable time during your service today? Prayer time. What else? One more. Offering.
Yeah.
Prayer time, because everybody's looking that way with their eyes closed. Prayer time, deacon, security. There ain't nothing wrong during the prayer time for you to stand here and watch the congregation. You pray with your eyes open all the time anyway, don't you? You about to hit that car in front of you. Oh, Jesus! Lord! All right? That's to stand here and just watch the congregation because they're looking this way. The pastor's on his knees with his eyes closed. Everybody on the knees with their eyes closed. Most vulnerable. You all take up your offering from the back to the front. Then once again, you got to go back to the back again into that hallway. Vulnerable times. All right? All somebody has to do is stand in the hallway, say, give me your money, and run out the door. What? Two ways. Start from the front and go to the back. Say your prayer beforehand, or you can say prayer back there. Or we can go old school Baptist. What old school Baptists do? Bring ye. So even him, he coming up to give this stuff, right? Bring ye. All the time. Now you got it here. It's not at the back door. Now we can escort it right on through. These are just some suggestions of easy things to mitigate what's going on in the country today. All right? You don't have to take this stuff to the board to make these decisions. These are just command decisions that can be made, all right, to help your church. Abnormal behavior. What is an abnormal behavior? I was an elder at Caffin. Who said in here they went to Caffin for a while? Somebody mentioned Caffin earlier. Caffin. I was an elder at Caffin, and there was a white guy. This is Caffin Avenue Church is in the lower 9th Ward in New Orleans. Okay? It's in the hood. Hood. A white guy with a backpack. I was an elder. That's when elders used to sit on the rostrum. I was an elder of the church. A white guy with a backpack would come every Sabbath and sit in the back of the church. When he first started coming, you best believe that when he was sitting in the back, I would just get off the rostrum, I'd go around the back, I would stand right behind him. And I was like, bro, if you feel froggy, jump. But today it's going to go down. Now, why did I do that? Because Caffin Avenue is basically an African-American church. It's a white man with a backpack on? Was that abnormal? That's abnormal. So if you see somebody come in, there's nothing wrong with you alerting somebody. Also, there's nothing wrong with me going and sitting next to him. You feel that way, or sitting by him. How you doing? Happy Sabbath. Abnormal behaviors in church. Next slide. Parking out here. So y'all really don't have a parking lot. Is that y'all parking lot across the street? Kind of. We just kind of took it over. Nobody says anything about it? Okay, that's good. Team members monitoring, you just took it over. Y'all be mad if somebody bought it and want to do something else to it too. That's our parking lot. Ain't paid a dime for that parking. Okay, we just take stuff. Monitoring parking lots before and after doing service. Now that you're going back to, I wanted to wait till he gets back in for him to hear this. But now that you're going back to Wednesday night prayer meeting on site, who comes to Wednesday night prayer meeting? Men or women? You have men? Okay. And a lot of women, right? Right. So there's some men, I'm sure they're probably married or dating. They come, they drop their lady off, and they go on about their business, or they let her leave the house, and she go on to prayer meeting and come back. Men, we got to step our game up a little bit. There's nothing wrong with you if you want. You got to go to prayer meeting. You want to sit out there in the parking lot and watch ESPN on your laptop or whatever, but men need to be here. And that's not being sexist. That's not saying that women can't take care of themselves. It's just a fact of life. And men are protectors. And I think that they need to be here helping, protect, monitoring. Monitoring instances, we talked about that. Emergency drills, we talked about that. Next slide. I want to talk about something real quick. We talked about security team, networking. So I'm gonna give you a task, Pastor. Have a emergency responder appreciation day at your church. It don't cost you nothing. You can make up some little certificates that say thank you very much for your service. Invite the police, the firemen, the ambulance, EMS, invite them to the church. Get them a plaque, put them up front here. Say, we just want to say thank you from Bethesda SDA Church. Thank you so much for your service to our community. We just want to appreciate you. We just want to love on you for a little while. You might not be able to stay the whole service, and then, even if they stay there, go ahead and feed them if you need to. Now, make sure you give them some meat that has some parents. I know that's against Seventh-day Adventist stuff, but you give them that gluten if you want to. That gluten get in that third intestine. They can't get that gun belt off in time. So, or you can give them a gift card. You give them a gift card to go someplace and eat, okay? But give them that because they will always remember you. Then you get their telephone number. And something happens at Bethesda, they get a call Bethesda. Hey, we know them people. Or something happens here, and you go, hey, can you send we're having an evangelist crusade. Can you send a car by here every hour or two just to check on us? You know what I mean? Relationship, networking, all right? Don't cost you nothing. I told you, Adventists, we love Adventists. Anybody ain't Adventist? Woo! All right? Love on the outside. Love on your community as well, okay? We'll talk about this. Do you have a plan? So next time I come here, I'm going to ask the question again. Do you have a plan? Now, Pastor, if you send me an email or text, I have a security document from Southwest Region Conference. It's cookbook. You can go line by line by line by line. All right? You ain't got to reinvent anything. But it will help you create your plan. Okay? You can almost chat GPT just about everything nowadays, right? That's a mess, ain't it? That thing a thing. You ain't even got to think no more. Not too much. Marked exits. Are all the exits marked? I looked at all your exits here. They are marked. Now, here's the thing. Well, we'll talk about that later. All right. Next slide. We're almost done, folks. Active shooter response. You talked about it. Run, hide, fight. That is a national model for what should happen in case of incident. Run, hide, fight. All right? So, if somebody came in there shooting right now, where would you go, ma'am? Somebody came in shooting right now, where would you go? You behind underneath there. Where would you go? Under the pew. You said you would run, and then somebody came in shooting right now. You told me you would run out that door, right? You changed your mind? She got the stumbling and carrying on it. Yeah, you right here. We could just go ahead. No, I'm just kidding. I had no idea. Where was that door lead? You can go outside to that door? All right. Can you go out that door? He's saying no. Pat says no. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. So every door that you have in the building per fire code, do y'all know this? Per fire code, there needs to be a panic bar similar to that where you can get out. Every door. Every door. Because if there's a fire out front here, I guess what? I'm burnt up because I can't get out. So whatever needs to happen back there, Pastor, to that door, whatever needs to happen, you got to be able to get out of there. If stuff is blocking it, if you got to fix it, it needs to have a panic bar. Now, you don't have to be able to get in, but you have to be able to get out every door in your facility. Speaking of guests, who that? That's the shooter? Who that? What's the? That's your deacon? He locked himself out? Checking the door. Awesome. Hide. Hide. So there's not many places to hide in here. But I tell you, I would get 6'2" all the way up under there. You would see a pinky toe. You see my pinky toe hanging out right there. All right? If someone came in here shooting. Run, hide, fight. Now, this is what I want to talk about. I want to talk about fight real quick. Okay? How many people have been in a fight in their life? Okay? Now, let me ask you this. You live in the suburbs. Oh, just one fight. You live in the suburbs. You never been in a fight in your life? You never been in a fight in your life? I'm about to say, man, you look like you can go right now, for real. You look like I got a fight in me right this minute. I'm just messing with you. All right. Who has been in a fight for their life? That's a different fight. I ain't talking about a fight with your play cousin. I'm talking about a fight for your life. For your life. That's a whole different fight. All right? These people in here are trying to kill you. They're not trying to hurt you. They're trying to kill you. They're trying to take you away from your family, your kids, your livelihood, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your whatever. Right? You have got to meet that force with that force. So what do I mean by that? In my world, all right, and I operate in a violent world. That's just where I operate. I'm not a violent person, but I operate in a violent world. The Ken Scott you see up here telling jokes and laughing and stuff will not be that same Ken Scott. It'll be like a whirlwind or tornado where you're like, what? Where did that come from? Because I'm going to try to take you all the way out. I'm not going to try to hurt you. So what's the opposite of that? All right? Because you're trying to kill me. So if that means that I got to choke you out, I normally have young kids in here that I have demonstrated. I'm not going to mess everybody in here like they be hurting tomorrow, including me. If they come to church next week talking about I'm going to go for your neck. I'm going to go for your eyes. I'm going to go for your groin. I'm going to strike you every which way I can with everything that I have. All right? And I'm not just trying to hurt you. All right? That is a survivor's mentality. Every instant you got to, hey, I'm going to survive this, whatever I got to do. If you got to take your keys out, put them between your fingers, and I got to gouge your eyes out. That's what we're going to do. I don't know anybody going to operate once look, you can get a piece of hair in your eye. Am I right? And you're like, ooh. Right? And my man you take him keys, and you rake across them eyes. Don't flinch, I got you. All right? Think about that. A man, you could just graze, I hate to use that word, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Manly parts. You ain't even got, it ain't be, but if it is, it's imagine here. Not just one time, because you might miss here. You ain't worried about him having kids and nothing else, who cares? You trying to get away from that threat. Absolutely. You or him, be a survivor. So when we talk about fighting, all right? If you got to go, look, I guarantee you that these three ladies right here, if they felt their life was in danger, they could take me out. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, right. You jump in there too. Get you a little bit of something, right? She said, save me some of that. She said 4. You from Chicago, South Side, so I understand. So, King Drive, absolutely. So, doing the right thing in a fight can help save your life. It can help save your life. Run, hide, fight is the motto. The last thing you want to do, though, is fight. But if you're going to fight like it's your life or my life. You got to bite, scratch, kick, punch, whatever I got to do. All right? I can grab you around your neck and just hang on and squeeze with all of my might. All of my might until it ain't moving no more. All right? So I know I hate to talk about that in church, but I'm here to save a life. My theme is the pastor here to save your soul. I'm here to save your life. That is my job. All right? Next slide. Questions. Do I have any questions? I saw some writing. I do appreciate that. I hope others were taking notes as well. Do I have any questions on anything I talked about today? Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry? In which role? For Southwest Region, 5 years. I started under Pastor Watkins. Watkins, he was the president, yes. That was during COVID. So everything we did was by Zoom. We mess around and got this president now. Whew! That man will work you. But I don't mind because he appreciates. Let me tell you, he would not support me doing this financially if he didn't think it was important. Whenever he has events, no matter what it is, he has me there or he has me coordinating with police or whatever. He takes you all safety and security more seriously than anybody I know. Anyone I know. And I don't get pushback from him. I say, I need to go here, I need to go here. They've asked for this, I need to go here. Like right now I'm behind I have 8 schools. I'm behind on visiting my 8 schools, so my next month or so I'm gonna be hitting all my 8 schools. But in between doing other stuff, I'm the security director for Beta, which starts on next week, so I'll be in Orlando all next week. I fly out tomorrow morning. Monday I'm going to Orlando for a week. I'm going to Houston first weekend of September. I'm going to Oklahoma City second weekend. I'm going to Campground on Labor Day for women's retreat. He got me working. All right, so he takes that, and I said all to say that Pastor Bird takes this serious. Your safety. Camp meeting for the people who saw me at camp meeting. I'm over our camp meetings as well to make sure we have deputies at our camp meeting. He takes it serious, folks. So that's why I'm here. Any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
Do you all cover like what you do after? Like I know that you talk about the
Yes.
911 part. However, if you have a person I am CPR certified, but like having those components in place.
So let me tell you the police response. So police, this is how the police will respond. If there's not a shooter here and someone gets hurt or numerous people get hurt around, as a police officer, I'm not stopping to help the people who got hurt. I'm going for the threat. Boom, boom, boom. I'm looking for the threat. I'm trying to eliminate the threat, wherever the threat is. I'm going to step over you. You can say, hey, I'm hurt. Okay, whatever. Somebody get you. All right? We're going for the threat. After the event is over and everything is clear, then that's when emergency personnel comes in and they do their things. You mentioned something that if you do have an event, in a tragic event like that, get some counseling. You got to get counseling. You got to go see the shrink. I used to call them back in the day, right? Get some counseling. Because traumatic events can affect you. I was in a officer-involved shooting where I shot and killed a guy. And I had to go and talk to the people. Get my mind right. Matter of fact, I called my dad, Elder Scott. I called Arthur Scott, the original Elder Scott. I called my dad after the shooting. My dad, killed a dude. Because the Bible says what? Thou shalt not kill. That's a 10 commandment, right? And and I'm struggling. And I'm struggling. And I did it in front of his 2 sons. And at the time, I was a single dad with 2 boys of my own who were about their age. And I did it in front of his 2 boys. That messed with me. I had to get on the couch. All right. Tell them what's going on. All right, but I struggled with that. My dad said, you did what you had to do to be here to survive. He gave me some really good advice. But I had to go talk to him, then I had to go talk to the shrink or whatever, the psychiatrist. Alrighty? So if something happens like that, you have to get some, traumatic stuff, that happened. This thing with my son passing suddenly. I'm struggling. Yesterday was made a month. Oh, I had a good session yesterday. I ain't gonna lie. It was ugly cries too. You get ugly. My dog was looking at me like, oh. I was like, he was like, what's wrong with you? All right, but talk to people. Traumatic events, man, that'll bring out a whole different side of you. I'm not a crying type, but man, this got me. This got me. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. So there are non-lethal things that you can do, such as tasers, things along those lines, but you have to be trained to do those. The issue is having untrained people doing that kind of stuff. And I'll tell you another thing, like when we talk about weapons, talk about guns. I don't know if anybody shoot guns in here? You don't shoot? You own a gun by any chance? No? Okay, nobody shoots. That stuff you see on TV is foolishness. Because see where she is? If she had a knife and she was coming at me and I shot her from right here and I did not move, she could still stab me. Unless I shot her dead in her head. But if I shot her in here, she gonna get to me and stab me. Your heart don't just stop, just boom, boom. You still moving. Eventually she gonna drop. That's why they teach boom, 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 I'm shooting, I'm moving. All right, to get away from her. All right? I can go to shoot you and tear her up. Stress, pressure bust pipes. Shooting is a perishable skill. If you're not constantly doing it, if you're not constantly coming out the trigger, not only that, mentally, you got to think: Are you mentally strong enough? And I've done it, so I can tell you: Are you mentally strong enough to pull a gun out, point at somebody, and shoot and kill them? It takes a special person to do that. All right. So those are some of the things we talk about, weapons, and so like taser. I go to tase and I miss. Now what? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You might as well throw it at them. All right, so those are just some of the, that's why I say, if you feel that unsafe, hire a deputy or a sheriff. What's that? Yeah, you can carry mace, absolutely. Yeah, all women, I think you should carry some. And if you have a police friend, get the good stuff, the PSP, get the good, don't get that stuff they sell at Walgreens and all that. They're just gonna do like this, lick it and put it on their sandwich. Get that good stuff. You want that good stuff that when you hit them, you can sit there and they just snot up and eyes, and they just, yeah, get that good stuff. They be turning all orange. Yeah, that's the good stuff. You have to have a police officer friend, wink, wink, yeah, who can get it for you.
Because I'm working early intervention at the high domestic violence,
Mm-hmm.
like that rates. I gave it to this one woman when they found out like she claimed she used it. That
Yeah.
she never used it or possibly for anything. So I should have kept it.
You should have kept. Don't get it. Don't get it away. That's some good stuff. So look, I want to thank y'all so much for your time, for being here. We're about to close it up. Next, can you hit that next slide for me? Pull out your phones if you would. So pull out your phone and point it to your camera to that QR code. It'll populate my information. And I always have to say this, I have a good commercial. So I give these presentations to schools, businesses, churches. Okay? If you have a business, if you have a school, do you have a church school here? Not in our I know not in our conference, but they have a church school here. Or a business or whatever, and want a presentation for workplace violence, active threat or whatever, please don't hesitate. If you have a question about anything that I talked about or something that happens at your church, as a security director, give me a call. Hey, we had A, B, or C happen. Somebody came into the church, they did A, B, or C. Something's going on in the church. You want to talk about it? Feel free to give me a shout, okay? I want to thank y'all so much for your attention and for you all being the faithful few to stick around here and listen to me. Thank y'all so much. God bless you.